Appealing to a fan's nostalgia is a popular tactic amongst filmmakers and developers alike. However, rose-tinted goggles alone can't make a great game. Assassin's Creed Rogue feels derivative, despite solid gameplay and, for an end-of-gen sequel, a bold story. Advertising made much of its wintry setting, but painting undergrowth white isn't a real alternative to creating new content. With more development resources and a little innovation, this could have been one of the best Assassin's Creed titles to date, but as it stands, Assassin's Creed Rogue is overshadowed by its predecessors. You'll be playing Shay Cormac, an assassin with a passionate streak who goes rogue. Ordered by his superiors to retrieve a precursor artifact, Shay inadvertently causes an earthquake that levels Lisbon, rendered in a Michael Bay-worthy escape sequence. Infuriated by the loss of life, Shay rejects the Assassin Brotherhood and goes on the run. Minutes after your defection, however, with little time for building moral complexity, you join the Templars, now represented by a conveniently charismatic egalitarian Englishman. From being a committed assassin, you're suddenly liberating New York from arbitrarily bad assassin gangs. It's not exactly deep, but to the writer's credit, the game's first few hours are played as an assassin, so you at least have some emotional engagement with the story. If only that early gameplay didn't feel so cut and pasted from Assassin's Creed 3 and Black Flag, it'd be one of the better stories in the series. Ubisoft have repackaged the popular features of previous titles, from piratical action to urban restoration. Chasing down English frigates to steal their cargoes is just as fun as it's always been, but the fragmented levels mean that upgrading your ship or gear feels far less important than in previous games. Assassin's Creed Rogue plays like a greatest hits collection of its prequels, and that just doesn't mesh with chasing down side objectives for rewards. Being unceremoniously dumped into a cityscape just after spending your hard-earned cash on new cannons sucks. What Assassin's Creed Rogue desperately lacks is flow. This issue cuts deeper later in the game, when the narrative of two morally grey behemoths fighting obscures the gameplay. The present-day narrative is once again a hit-and-miss repackaging. A computer virus has caused Abstergo Entertainment to be evacuated, because apparently IT problems are a threat to life and limb in the future. You'll be solving 3D laser puzzles to access new story material, all of which is well produced, if tangential, and waiting for the moral quandary of Shay's life to bleed through into the meta-narrative. It's fun, but it feels rushed. Notes are found on PDAs, which, for some reason, are scattered on the floor. Copies of Far Cry 3 are littered around the office. Why not Far Cry 4? Why not a hint at Far Cry 5? Presumably because most of the artists were working on Assassin's Creed Unity. Let's be clear. For fans of previous games without access to the new generation of consoles, Assassin's Creed Rogue provides hours of entertaining gameplay. There are some new gizmos to play with, such as a silent dart rifle or automatic puckle cannons to bombard enemy ships' weak points with. All of these are welcome additions, but they're hardly revolutionary. You'll unlock an ice ram for your ship at one point, which again is a refreshing idea, but it's so ugly, and you'll barely ever use it save for a few mission sequences. Assassin's Creed Rogue falls depressingly short on every front. Most of the content here is respectable, and the idea of playing as a Templar was an exciting one. However, none of that masks the obvious fact that the game was developed in the spare time left over from creating Assassin's Creed Unity. Whoever came up with the premise deserves recognition, and the writing isn't awful, but sadly, the laziness of design makes Assassin's Creed Rogue the worst Assassin's Creed title we've ever played.